Hey everybody, Some Gadget Guy here with another case review, finally covering something for our Android fans out there, looking at a case for the Galaxy Note 4 coming from Moshi. Moshi's been one of my favorite style and design companies of late, but they most often make cases for iDevices, for iPhones and iPads out there. So when I heard that they were finally turning their design language over to the Galaxy Note 4, I can't tell you how excited I was. This has been one of my favorite Android phones to use of late. And as you can see, I've already pulled the case out of the box, so we don't need to worry about doing some silly let's do an unboxing and see what's in the box for a case. Because we gotta talk about this gear. Now, Moshi's SenseCover looks to take a step up from some of your other traditional flip cover cases, and instead of replacing the back plate on the Galaxy Note 4, much like Samsung's cases often do, this is a full rugged bumper protection case, which then wraps around with a nice little window cutout here, so you can still catch things like notifications and alerts. And popping my Galaxy Note 4 into this case, it's a nice chunky little bumper here. We've got a nice rigid rubbery plastic running all the way around the phone, and it does feel like it'll add a little extra protection in the event of a drop. Plus, you've got a nice little edge here, giving us just a little extra screen clearance in case this thing ever drops face down on the ground. There's this nice brushed metallic finish running along the front and back of the case. In an effort to be a little more environmentally friendly, Moshi tends to prefer synthetic fibers as opposed to trying to build their cases out of leathers or suedes. But on the inside of the case, we've got a nice faux suede, kind of a microfibery type material to protect the screen, also kind of help clean it off. You can kind of just like rub it around on the inside of the screen, help get rid of some of them smudges. Walking around the case, everything is really nicely laid out. There's a magnetic clasp to open and close, which will activate your screen. And this magnet here on the corner does an excellent job of keeping your case closed. So as you're walking around with this phone, or maybe it's in a bag or a purse, that top cover isn't flapping around on you. So on that right side of the case, we've got the Moshi logo under the magnet and a nice little clicky cutout for a power button right there. I think this is an excellent touch for when the cover is closed, we still have a little indentation, a little cutout right here for where we can adjust the volume through the flap here. As opposed to always having to open the cover just to get to these the volume buttons here built into the bumper of the case. There's a nice big cutout for the camera, the heart rate sensor, and the LED flash. And the case is just thick enough that you get a nice little bit of extra clearance around this camera module. It's really nice for when the phone is lying on its back. You don't have to worry about scratching that camera up as much. Ditto a nice deep cutout here for the speaker. Make sure your notifications, ringtones, alerts are all nice and loud. On the bottom of the case, we've got holes for the microphone, a nice bit of clearance around that micro USB port. Make sure you can even plug in some of our chunkier cables. I'm really digging the cutout here for the stylus as it wraps around this bottom corner of the case. Nice kind of like armor-clad look. And the top of the case is nice and clean. We've got another hole for a microphone right there, and then access to the 3.5mm jack to plug in a headset or headphones. I'm a big fan of Moshi design. I think it's a clean, modern look, but they always manage to throw in just a little edge, something a little spicy. For example, how this softer nylon-like material with this brushed metallic finish flows into the edges on the hard rubber bumper that actually protects the phone, while Moshi is still acknowledging those beveled corners on the Galaxy Note 4. All around, I think it's a very attractive look that still acknowledges what phone it is that you're using, but it still gives you something a little bit more personal or a little bit more unique to show off when you're using the phone in public. So once you install a special Moshi SenseCover app, that app is going to interact with this touch sensor strip in the front cover, and it's also going to give you a special window preview mode when the phone interacts with the magnetic clasp built into the side of the case. With the app running, you've got access to a flashlight. You can jump directly into your camera app. Of course, this phone is lying flat on a table, so you can't really see anything on that camera app. And you get a little notification ticker up here in the corner, and then opening the case will bring you back to your home screens. Closing the case will return you back to your preview window. And scrolling through the preview window, you've got direct access to the Samsung music player. You can pick different wallpapers, and as one of the things I really think is cool is you can pick wallpapers based on the different colors of the phone, but it also matches up, so the wallpaper on this phone matches the brushed finish on the actual front cover of this case. Or you can always use one of your own photos if you'd rather have that as your wallpaper. And direct access to what kind of clock you want to use in that preview window. But I'm kind of partial to a simple digital clock with the date. And it's one of the cool things about the way that Samsung utilizes their AMOLED screen is only that part of the screen in the window is going to be on when you close that case. So the preview window keeps this smaller chunk active, but the rest of the screen is still technically off. Now, while you can still control your phone through this window on the case, depending on how you're holding the phone, these sensor strips might also give you additional functionality for things like answering a phone call. So there's my wife calling. I can either hit the little phone icon in the window, or I can slide on this sensor strip to answer or ignore the call, but of course this is my wife calling, so there's no way I'm going to ignore that call. But while I'm talking, I can jump directly into a speakerphone, I can mute my microphone, or I can also use the sensor strip to hang up again. It's a cool little additional feature. It's a nice additional way, sort of a redundant way to control various aspects of how your phone is operating. This is a feature Moshi debuted on their iPhone cases, and I think they're still the only manufacturer to have some kind of sensor slide feature for an iPhone flip cover case. So even though we have a number of different solutions for stuff like that in the Android ecosystem, I'm still really happy to see Moshi bring that kind of innovation here to the Galaxy Note 4. Lastly, as you might have noticed when I was going around the hardware tour, there is a hinge built into the rear paneling on this case, because this flip window case can also function as a phone stand. Again, I'm always a big fan of these types of features, these types of cases, especially if you're traveling. You know, the Galaxy Note 4 has this great, beautiful screen, and it's a wonderful way to prop your phone up, watch some movies, or maybe use it to write a document. You've got a little Bluetooth keyboard, and the suede-like material on the inside of this cover flap does a great job of giving you just enough friction so that you can line up different angles. For the phone, you want it to prop up almost totally straight, you can land that pretty easily. If you want it to land really shallow, you can do that too. And that brings us to price. Moshi is currently selling this on their website for $49.95, which is a phenomenal price for a very well-built, stylish, attractive case, which also comes with a cool little piece of software giving you these little quick actions and a Samsung-like window feature just for controlling your phone through the flip cover on this case. I'm not always the biggest fan of flip cover cases, but I love it when we get shortcuts to this kind of functionality. So folks, I'm super excited to see a primarily iPhone manufacturer start flirting with some more Android accessories. It's one of those areas I still feel a little left out when you see the iPhone and there's a plethora of different cases and covers and accessories. So every time we get one of those manufacturers to come over to the Android space, support one of the more popular Android phones out there, I'm going to consider that a victory. And folks, I will of course leave some links down below this video where you can get more information on Moshi products, where you can shop them online. As always, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you'd like to catch more videos and reviews like these, and I would not be able to continue producing these reviews if you all weren't out there sharing them with your family, friends, and on social media. So hit that thumbs up button, and I will catch you all on the next review.